What is going on? YouTube. It is your boy from within back with another live stream. And I am so excited about this live stream because we're going to hit the data. We're going to hit the statistics. We're going to look at the numbers, the numerical side of life, because numbers, they never lie. If you are a man, this is directed towards you. Women, if you want to watch this and you want to stick around, totally fine. But this is specifically for my brothers. Specifically for my brothers. You understand? Okay, so here's the deal, man. What I want to do is I want us to raise the bar as men. I want us to raise the bar as men, okay? I want us to raise the bar, man. We got to step it up, bro. Last time I was talking about, my last stream was about, why I'm not gaming anymore, me stepping it up as a man. And, once you start looking at the numbers of things, it really clicks. It really clicks. Okay, so what we're going to talk about today is elevating in finances. We're going to look at the statistics for physiques, and we're going to look at the statistics for intelligence, schooling. Okay, so let's start off with finances. Okay, $57,000 is the average that a man makes between the age of 25 to 34. Okay, $40,000 is the average that a man makes between the age of 20 to 24. All right. In order to make $57,000 a year, which is the average of a man between the ages of 25 and 34, you need to at least be making $200 a day. 6 days a week, and you get Sundays off. Okay? So just think about that. If you're not at least making $200 a day for 6 days a week, you're below average. Hola, ¿cómo estás, Johnny? ¿Cómo estás, mi amigo? If you're not making at least $200 a day for 6 days a week, you're not even average, brother. I just want that to sink in. $200 a day between the ages of 25 and 34, that means that you're average. You just an average earner, regular Joe Schmo. And I'm not here to put anybody down, but I'm here to talk to the people that want to be above average, that want to go to that next level, right? So $40,000 a year equates to $140 a day. So if you're not making at least $140 a day to $200 a day, you are not even average, brother. You are below average. That's what I want you to understand. If you're not doing that, $140, anywhere from $140 to $200 a day, it should irritate you. It should snap you back into reality. Like, wait a minute. Okay, I gotta switch, change, and rearrange something. And that's only 1 day off a week. That number goes up. If you take 2-3 days off a week, that number goes up. But this is just with 1 day off. Sundays off, you need to at least be making $140 a day to $200 a day to be average. Okay? Now, let's look at people that make six figures. 16% of men make $100,000 a year. 84% of us are not even making six figures a year. And you might think $100,000 is a lot of money, but to be honest, it's really not. It's really not. I mean, there's people making $50,000, $100,000 a day. And yeah, they're like way up here in the totem pole, but all I'm telling you is 84% of men are not even making $100,000. 3.6% of men make 200 to 300K a year. Doesn't that irritate you a little bit? Like for me, I've always wanted to be the best. I always want to, exceed this standard. Only 3.6% of men in the world make 200 to 300K. That's crazy. And less than 1% make 500K or more. Less than 1%, bro. So when you really think about it, if you want to be in that less than 1% of men, you need to be figuring out how to make 500K a year. You need to be that needs to be your goal. And life is not all about money, but everything that you love to do requires money. And you also want to think about this. You want to create generational wealth as a male. That is one of your prime jobs, is to create generational wealth, to make it easier for the next generation. And it's not about passing them down a bunch of money. That's part of it, but it's also about passing down the knowledge that it takes to perpetuate that wealth, to continue it down your bloodline, right? Okay, moving on. Okay, so if you want to make 100K a year, right? 100K a year. That's $350 a day, 6 days a week with Sundays off. Not too bad, right? See, when you break it down to the day, to the week, to the year, it's easy. It's easy for you to think, okay, how can I, like, it's more obtainable. How can I make $350 a day? How can I do that? What skills can I develop? What side hustle can I work on? What can I do to make $350 a day, 6 days a week, and I will be at 100K a year? Fantastic. Fantastic, okay? If you want to make 200K, right? 100K is in the top 16% of men. What was it? 2 to 300K? Now you're in the top 3.6% of men. And what is that? 200K a year is $700 a day, 6 days a week with Sundays off. Okay? So just think about it. Numbers. That's what it comes down to. Okay, if I want to make 100K, I want to be in the top 16% of men, I need to be aiming for $350 a day, 6 days a week. If I want to be in the top 3.45% of men, I need to be making $700 a day. Okay? 500K a year equates to $1,736 a day, 6 days a week, and now you're in the top 1% of men. Okay? So, like I said, just break it down numerically. That's what you want to do. I mean, $1,700 a day, when you're just first starting out, that seems like, oh my gosh, that's a lot of money, right? I mean, I get it. I understand. But what's the next step below that? $700 a day. Does that seem like too much? Okay. If that's too much, no problem. Break it down to at least 100K. $350 a day. What can I do to make $350 a day? What type of profession do I need to study for? What type of side hustle? What type of skills do I need to get there? Right? I love this because it makes it obtainable. Instead of saying that I just want to make more money, no, break it down. Break it down. And what percentage of men do you want to fall into? What category of men do you want to fall into? If you want to just be an average Joe Schmo, okay, well then just make $50,000 a year, and that's what you're gonna. You're just gonna be average life, average everything. If you want to start climbing up, if you want to start really making a difference for yourself and for your wife and for your kids and for your bloodline, now we're talking about that 100K, 200K, 500K. And you don't stop until you get there, brother. You don't stop. Okay? Now, let's talk about physique. I love physique. I love fitness. I love eating healthy. I love the study of it. I just love everything about it. So, 53% of men in 2025 are overweight, and 18% of that 53 is obese. That means over half of the men in America are overweight. So just by you maintaining a good weight, you're already technically better physically than over 50% of men. Just because you eat right and you take care of your body, you are better physically than half of the men in the world or in America. I think that that is just fantastic. You start breaking down these numbers and you're like, okay, cool. Like if you really want to be the best in life, if you really want to make it to that next level, then you start looking at the percentages and you start looking at the numbers and you're like, okay, cool. So when I reach 100K, I'm in the top 16% of men. If I take care of my body and I'm not overweight or obese, I'm better than 50% of the men in America. It gives you courage. It gives you that drive. Like, you know what? I am going to be in that top 50%. I am going to be in that top 16%, that top 3.5%. That's what I want. That's what I'm aiming for. Amazing, right? Okay, cool. So check it out. 8% body fat. 8% body fat is like, dude, you are ripped. You are shredded. That's around 1% of men. That's around 1% of men. 10% body fat is around 2% of men. 15% body fat is around 3.5% of men. Okay? 20% body fat, I mean, to be honest, it looks okay, but you got a little bit of stomach on you. That's 5 to 10% of men. The average, get this, the average body fat percentage for all men is 28%. 28% is like darn near a beer gut. 28% of fat is like, dude, anything above 20% and you got a stomach on you, brother. You got some chubby cheeks, man. I'm not gonna even sit here and lie to you. Like, dude, we gotta be better, man. Like, the percentage needs to get higher. At least 20% body fat. We need to have that percentage higher than 5 to 10. I get it. 15, 10, 8%. Okay, those are athletes. Like those are the people that are putting it in every day. That's fine. But the average man has 28% body fat. Like, what are we doing, bro? We got to get better. We have to. All right? So that's physique. Now, intelligence is, it's debatable, right? Because just because you have a degree doesn't mean that you're going to make a lot of money. There's pointless degrees out there. Let's be real. There's degrees that literally mean nothing. There's degrees that will pay you the same amount of money just as working at a fast food restaurant will, right? Let's be honest. There's degrees out there that are literally pointless. Degrees that you will go to school for 2-4 years and then come out and you can't even get a job. So I challenge you that for those of you that are in college right now, if you're in college and you're studying for a degree, look into what that degree is and exactly how much money do the people make that have that degree, that have that profession. How much money do they make? Because that's why you're going to school, so that you can get a better job, so that you can, right? So how much money does that profession pay you? What is the percentage of people that get out of college with that degree and actually have a job right away? These are all things that you need to be researching. Now, you don't have to have a degree to be successful in your life, but I'm just speaking as far as numbers go and intelligence goes, right? Everybody thinks about school. So I found this kind of funny. 9% of men have an associate's degree. All right, that's cool. Whatever. You know what I'm saying? Not a lot of people go for an associate's degree. That's a 2-year degree. Bachelor's degree. 37% of men have a bachelor's degree. So if you have a 4-year degree, you are literally in the 37th percentile of men. That's amazing. Because 63% don't have nothing. Okay? 8.7% of men have a master's degree. I believe that's what, like 6 years? 1.2% of people in general have a doctorate or a PhD degree, right? And about half of that 1.2% of people in general are men. So literally 0.5% of men have a doctorate degree. So what is my point here? My point is, where do you want to be in your life as a man? How much money do you want to make? What do you want your body to look like? What skills and education do you want to acquire over the years? What percentage category of men do you want to fall in? It's very, very important. It's very, very important. Okay? I mean, like I said, 16.1% of men make $100,000 a year. I want that number to be higher. I want that number to be higher. I want more men to make $100,000 or more, 6 figures or more. And it's really not that difficult, because you know why? It's $350 a day, 6 days a week, and you get Sundays off. What can I do to make $350 a day? That's all you gotta think. I mean, and the rest will come. You'll get to that 200K. You'll get to that 500K. But what profession do I need to study for? What skills do I need to acquire that is going to put me in the top 16% of men? That's what matters. You know, it's just a numbers game. That's all it is. And there's so many people that have so many different skills, so many different talents. Get on YouTube, get on Twitch, dude, there's so many different ways to make money. There's so many different ways to be creative in order to raise the bar, right? So that's my little spiel, man. I'm so excited about this because this helps me. This helps me as a man. I don't want to be average. I don't want to just be, $200 a day, $140 a day, and I think that I'm rolling. Woo, that's awesome. No, I want to be that $350 a day guy that's making 6 figures. Now I put myself in the top 16% of men in general. What about $700 a day? Now I'm in the top 4%. You see, like, as a person that's very ambitious and has drive and wants to be the best and wants to go above and beyond and exceed the standard, this information is going to be key for you. Now, if you are an average earner, it's totally fine. If that's what you are, if that's what you like, it totally fine. There's people out here that aren't even making the average. That's why I told you in the beginning. I said, if you're not at least making $140 to $200 a day, 6 days a week and Sundays off, you're not even average, brother. You're not even average. So it's a reality check for those of us that aren't even making that. And if you want to go above and beyond, $350 a day, 6 days a week with Sundays off should be your goal right there. Hands down. How can I do that? It's a numbers game. Okay? And the more that you work hard, the more that you put it in, the better category, the better percentage category you will fall into. Right? So I want men to really step it up. I want us to be better physique-wise. I want us to be better financially. I want us to be better in our intelligence. And like I said, we don't have to go to school. But if you're going to go to school, make sure that you're going to a college and a profession, that you're in a profession studying for that's going to pay you well, that you're going to be able to easily get a job as soon as you get out. Don't just go to college just because everybody is telling you to do that. And then you get out and you can't even find a job. Or if you do find a job, you're earning just the same amount as a guy that flips burgers. You know? Like, really sit down and think about it. Okay? So, like I said, that's my spiel for the day, man. I love y'all, boys. Make sure that you like and subscribe if you enjoyed this content. This was so exciting for me so that I can have the numerical goal, the numerical bar. Okay, Cool. I know exactly where I need to go now. I know exactly what I need to be aiming for every single day. And if I'm not doing that, that's fine. But like they say, try to land on the moon. And if you don't land on the moon, you'll land among the stars. Okay? So I love y'all boys. I'll catch y'all in the next live stream, man. Do better, be better, and take care of yourself now so that when you get older, you ain't got nothing to worry about. All right? Peace out, y'all.